This is Sadie's song. I'm not gonna lie, while watching this episode, I was thinking to myself, oh man, what am I gonna say about this one? It's a pretty cut and dry episode. Doesn't mean there's nothing to it, but it is one that you kind of know where it's gonna go. It's kind of like the Nightmare Hospital. You know where it's gonna go, and it's like, okay, fine, but it doesn't feel like the last episode that I did on here where it's like, oh wow, that was like a new way of showing this. It was pretty standard, but it's fine. Sadie is singing in her store, and Steven says, oh, you should sing, there's this Beach-a-Palooza thing going on. So she agrees, but then her mother is kind of a sports mom and just pushes her to the ultimate extreme, and she feels too pressured. And finally, when the big night comes, they got her all dressed up and sparkling and everything, and they are announcing her as this big special guest and this mystery guest, and she feels too pressured, cracks pretty much, and Steven decides to go on instead of her and gets a big laugh and everybody cheers and stuff. And in the end, she talks to her mom, things seem to be okay, and then she's also just singing a little song in the back of her store. A little ukulele that Steven's playing. I will say, the thing I like the most about, I think I like the ending the most. I like that she just wanted to sing, little bit, got caught up, and then in the end, it's just her kind of singing a little bit in the story, just do a little guitar. I think that is something that's always kind of important. You kind of gotta say, if you're gonna pursue something like, that's a hard thing to pursue, and you want to pursue it really, really hard and really big, would you still do it even if you were just alone? Would you do it as a hobby? Because there are a lot of people that I've seen that think they want to do something like kind of what we do, or various types of entertainment and stuff. And you can tell they're like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This is, I'm sick of this already, but I can't get out, or some do, some don't, whatever. I mean, there's so many different amounts of people and so many different ways people are going to accept or not accept certain things that come along in their life. And yeah, I think that's an important lesson to learn, is that, would you be okay doing this for, millions of people or two people? Would you be okay with either or neither? There's people that can't perform in front of, whatever, 5 people, let alone millions of people. And there's people that need millions of people always looking at them and stuff. So it's interesting. Like, I think it's very much find your voice and find your audience, even if it's a couple people, even if it's your parents or your brother, your sister, or something like that. So I think that is a good lesson. I think that last image is kind of the strength of it all. I think that's a very nice, quiet image to end on. So many times we see a lot of these like biographies and stuff ending with, someone in front of a crowd and everybody cheering and stuff, and those are great. But I always like the ones that end with like, the person just alone somewhere doing something very common, very normal, maybe just hanging with a friend or something, or just drawing or singing or something, So I like that image as well. It's something that shows there's still a connection that was always there. To something that you pursue so hard. And a lot of times the reason people do make it in, whatever, singing or whatever, is because, they pursue what they did love, and that is very much what they love, and they put up with so much crap because there is that love. So I like that. But there's also people who don't need to pursue it and are totally fine, just keeping it small, keeping it a hobby, keeping it just something that they love. It doesn't have to be something that the world loves. It can be just something they love. So I like that. I thought that's all kind of where it came together. Trying to think, nothing too much else. Like nothing really connected to the continuing story or anything. It wasn't especially funny. I mean, there's a few laughs here or there, but nothing else like any of the other episodes. The one thing that I always kind of like, it makes me laugh, but I always kind of squint my eyes a little bit like, really? Is when you see the parent of somebody and they just look like the kid. They look like a grown-up version of the kid. Kind of like Milhouse's parents. Like, I get it, and it's funny, but the fact that every single one of them look exactly the same just always bothers me a little bit. Maybe it's because they actually form unique personalities later. Like, Milhouse's family actually have very distinct personalities now. The mother and the father, they're very different people, and you see how Milhouse is brought from that, because just of how they are. But you know that when they first designed them, they're just like, oh, well, let's just... Well, I think they drew the mother first in an episode, and then they needed the father for something, and they're just like, what should the father look like? Well, the mother looks like just like Milhouse. What if he looked exactly like Milhouse? Exact same thing. So, I don't know. I can't say it's like a cheap shot or a cheat or anything like that, because it is funny. It's cute, but there's something about when they form such distinct personalities, and that mother clearly had a distinct personality that I'm always thinking, it doesn't have to look that much like the kid, not like a carbon copy, not like a clone. Steven's mom, Rose, I mean, you can tell that Steven's mom has sort of the same nose and a kind of round face and stuff, but still looks like her own unique character. So I like when there's little clues and hints, but not, we're just going to draw the exact same character. So I don't know. That's a real nitpick. I'm just, like I said, it was more trying to find stuff to talk about for this episode. And yeah, I think that is all I got. These will be the last of Me Alone, at least hopefully by the time these roll around, Rob will be better. So yeah, that's about it, and I shall talk to you later. Take care.